We are in Orlando at Tiffany's brother's house. Excuse me one second. Hopefully this doesn't get too dark. So we're just going to be hanging out, answering some questions tonight about concealed carry, about the law. Maybe you guys want to talk about that string of shootings that just happened in Atlanta. Whatever you got, let me know as soon as you guys jump on here. Let me know what kind of questions you've got, and we will jump into it. So, tried to find a good spot to do this tonight. Don't know if this is going to work because, oh, Wilson, what's up? So, got my 2021 book in the mail today. Awesome. Tell me, once you kind of go through it, tell me what you think. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Working on a new version of the book for the state of Texas, which has been really interesting to see the really big differences in the law and kind of how they process and do things differently in Texas. So it's been interesting. All right. Doesn't look like many people jumping on tonight. So what'd you guys think about the shooting that happened in Atlanta? Looks like 21-year-old kid decided to, apparently has a sex addiction and decided he was just going to go to some massage parlors and start shooting the place up. Really crazy. Perfect example of how you simply never know when or why something is going to happen. It's so Jess says, wow, I never get on here this early. Yeah, Jess, today is the day. I was waiting for you. Glad you made it early. So pretty interesting. They said that this scumbag, so he killed 8 people, and 6 of them were Asian. You know, the media is trying to paint this as a racism thing. And it could be. It's kind of too early to tell. Apparently, he told the FBI that he did it because he goes to prostitution massage parlors like this a lot, and apparently it's an issue for him, and the only way he felt he could stop it was by killing the people. You know, somebody posted today and said that this is a perfect example of why we need to have mental health screenings for individuals before they're allowed to buy a gun, carry a gun. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that would actually have stopped this shooting from happening and would have actually saved lives? I personally think the answer is no, because I think a crazy person like this is going to do crazy shit, and I think it's pretty hard to stop somebody who's willing to hurt people like this. I just don't know if that mental health screening is actually going to do anything or actually going to work. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Since there's not a lot of activity on here, I'm going to jump on the comments of Carey University's YouTube channel, and we'll try to answer some questions off of there. But if you got a question, post it on here, and I'd love to answer it. So this house, I was walking around this house. It's way too damn big. Everything there has a ridiculous echo in it, so I couldn't find. I'm in an upstairs random bedroom. Only place that has carpet that I could actually figure out a place to do this thing. All right, so let's see. Okay, if someone wants to hurt other people, they will find a way to do it. Knife, truck bomb. Yeah, that was Tiffany's big comment. That's her, obviously, posting that. Okay, Jess says, I don't think it would have stopped it. I haven't seen any info about the gun used or how he got it. Yeah, apparently the guy did pass a actual background check to get the gun. I would guess it's probably a handgun, because if it was an AR-15 or an AK, all of these headlines would be talking about an assault weapon was used to hurt and kill these people, and they would not allow that to be out of the headline. So I assume it's a handgun, which, as maybe most of you guys know this, but what's up, Jason? About 75% of all mass shootings are committed with a handgun, which is why it's so comical that the anti-gun community talks about how we have to get rid of assault weapons to stop mass shootings. Most mass shootings are committed with a handgun anyway. So they know going into it that it is not going to stop anything. Oh, what's up, Jay? Good to see you, man. So let's see. Can being barricaded bar you from buying? Baker acted is what this person was trying to say. What's up, Randall? What's up, Drew? So will being Baker acted prevent you from buying a firearm, asking for a friend? I'm sure you are. So Ninja Zombie, it really depends. It depends on what the psychiatrist. So when you get Baker acted, you're put into an involuntary mental facility, right? Now you have to go for screening and stuff in front of a psychiatrist, and it's based on what that psychiatrist documented, and then what happens after the Baker acting. This is why I don't cover Baker actings too much, because it is very complicated. It's not a simple yes or no. But if you get Baker acted, there's a good chance you will be prohibited from ever buying or touching a gun again, which is why we gotta not allow ourselves to get so crazy that you do get Baker acted. Okay, Justin says, took your class back in July, just received my permit Monday. That's awesome, dude. So when did you apply for your permit? Did it take that long to process, or did you not apply until later? Jess says, because handguns do not look scary enough and anticlimactic. Yeah, Jess, you're absolutely right. I think they perceive the AR-15 as being like the low-hanging fruit. What's up, David? As being the low-hanging fruit, super easy for them to try to take away. I'm on the email list for Ban Assault Weapons Now. What's up, Alex? And they sent me an email today feeding kind of off of the frenzy of this shooting, basically saying that the NRA is against America. The NRA is against what the American people want, which is hilarious. The NRA wouldn't exist if people didn't support it. And basically saying that all politicians that support the Second Amendment are basically doing it just to play the game of politics, not because they want to actually defend our Constitution. This is what everybody does, every politician. They love to paint in very broad strokes, and they're trying to really paint us as the enemy and as evil, bad people because we're gun owners. I own a lot of AR-15s. None of my guns have ever hurt anybody, but it is easier for them to just pretend that we're all bad, evil people than it is to really talk about the facts. And the facts are that there are bad people in the world who want to do bad, evil things to people. Now, it would be amazing if we lived in a world where bad stuff didn't happen. That would be awesome. But until Jesus comes back, that day is not going to come in earth. And we all know, if you're a believer, you know that things are actually going to get a lot worse. But yeah, I just think it's really dumb. So Justin says he applied July 15th. Apparently Florida doesn't recognize Idaho as a birth state. So I required enhanced verification. Okay, makes sense. Alex says, do you think GOA is doing a better job than the NRA at this point? Yeah, Alex, I think the NRA is very bloated. Many times when companies get really big, they get out of touch with who their followers are and with what their followers want. I think the NRA had a strategy that worked really good 20, 30 years ago, but I think that strategy doesn't work very good anymore. So the NRA's strategy is, let's support politicians that say they're going to defend the Second Amendment. Let's provide them with campaign money, and let's get them elected so that they can defend our rights and kind of do what needs to get done, right? I think that may have worked back in the day, and I think that to a degree has a place today in the strategy. But what do we do when those individuals then turn their back on the Second Amendment? Kind of like this politician in Sarasota that voted for the universal background check and firearm registration bill. What's going to happen to that guy now? He should never receive any more money from the NRA. He should be dead to every gun owner in America now. And hopefully this guy doesn't get reelected. I think what the GOA does a really good job of is when politicians pass BS gun control laws, the GOA actually files aggressive lawsuits against those individuals and challenging those decisions in court so that hopefully they can get repealed and taken away. So I'm a big supporter of the GOA. I think we need to have an aggressive organization out there that's going to file lawsuits, challenge some of this stuff, It needs to go to the Supreme Court, and I think that's the only way we can really stop a lot of this really aggressive anti-gun legislation. Yeah, so GOA means Gun Owners of America. Thanks, Steph. Okay, so let's see what else I can find on here while I'm waiting for you guys to post some questions. Where are the time limits? Because people change, and people who serve their time have already paid for their crime. All right, so this question comes from The Capitalist, and it's talking about a video that I created about who is not allowed to obtain a Florida concealed carry permit. So what he's saying is people that already did the time should be able to kind of get their permit now. And it really all depends. If you have a felony conviction, you are prohibited forever. People call us all the time or email us and say, hey, I got convicted of a felony 20 years ago. Can I get a concealed carry permit? No, you can't. Unless you have applied to the Florida Department of Executive Clemency to get your civil and firearm rights restored from the state of Florida. So if your civil and firearm rights are not restored, you do not have a right to actually have that gun. Now, it kind of changes. Somebody that has a withheld adjudication on a crime of violence, they just have to wait 3 years after that crime is over. Somebody that has a drug charge, let's say you got arrested for having a bag of marijuana in your pocket, you have to wait 3 years after the probation or court-ordered punishment has been fulfilled for that crime. And after you pass that 3-year mark, then you can actually apply for that carry permit. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Post a question if you guys have it on here, or if you just want to talk about whatever. Not readily accessible. WTF, what good is that? So this is a person talking about having a firearm on a boat. Listen, the simplest thing, man, if you're going to have a gun on a boat, if you're going to go on a boat, have your carry permit. Then you can just have the gun physically on your body, and it's not a big deal. Or you can just have the gun inside of a box or something like that. But it's allowed to be read. The mistake that people make when they talk about having a gun in their car, on a boat, or whatever, is they believe it's a and instead of an or. And let me explain what I mean by that. You're allowed to have a gun in your car as long as it is securely encased or not readily accessible for immediate use. Many people perceive that as an and, securely encased and not readily accessible, but that would be pointless. So if the gun is in the glove box, center console, or whatever, then it's allowed to be readily accessible. If it is not in something, a glove box, a container, a zippered case, something like that, then it has to be far away from a person, not readily accessible, but it does not have to be both, which is important. Offer the naked lady a robe. Situation like that. There's one important question. Is the naked... Okay, that's an inappropriate question. Probably shouldn't have read that one. Okay, so this is about the video I posted about the naked woman. This actually happened in Valrico. So this comes from Lift Def. What could have been done to stop this? Start with a steel or other structural front door. If you try to kick it in, they're going to have a broken foot. You know, we're building this new house right now, and Tiffany asked me, can we put in a glass front door, like the really pretty glass thing? And I said, hell no, I don't want that. Because I don't want it to be that easy for some scumbag to come up and like take a plant off of my door, smash the front door, and then be able to get in and actually hurt somebody. So we've got to have those steel or something front doors so that these scumbags can't get in easily. Jay says, when's the next 21-day dry fire going to start? The 1st. So 1st of April, I guess. What if you have a felony non-violent adjudication withheld? So, Carl, let me look that up for you since there's not a lot of activity on here and I have the time at the moment. So let's see, eligibility. That didn't work. Maybe it's not on here. Let me look on my other account here. So typically with a non-violent adjudication of guilt withheld, as long as, what the hell? Oh, that's the problem. Then as long as you've waited the 3 years past your court-ordered mandate has been completed, then you're allowed to apply for that permit. So while I'm looking this up, I went over to Bunker Depot yesterday or 2 days ago, Tuesday, and was able to look at that new gun that everybody was talking about, the Rex something. It's a pretty dope gun. I can't find this eligibility thing. It's a super dope gun. I really liked it. It was selling for like $550, which I thought was very, very fair. And it was nice. I was very tempted to buy it, but I knew Tiffany would freak out on me, so I decided not to. Okay, Michael says, what are your thoughts on the new Ruger Max 9? I've actually never heard of it. I haven't seen it. So Ruger Max 9. Ruger seems like they're coming out quite a bit of stuff. I guess we missed SHOT Show this year, which is why I didn't get to see it. So Ruger Max 9, first of all, it looks like all the other Ruger guns, so I don't really see off the top what's different here. Medium texture, so it's a compact size, looks pretty basic. 10+1, so maybe it's a subcompact. It looks kind of like this is trying to compete directly with the SIG P365. Yeah, it is. It's a pretty tiny gun. So I think it's interesting. 10+1. I think the price is very high, so $500. I would rather, when I compare guns, when I think about like a Sig Sauer pistol, Sig's always going to be up here. And no matter what Ruger does, Rugers are always going to be down here in my mind because they're a civilian-only firearm. So I would never trust a Ruger to the same degree as I would like a Sig, an HK, a Glock. So I think it's okay. I think the price is very high compared to the other firearms on the market, like the Smith & Wesson Shield, the SIG P365, the Hellcat. I just heard that the new Smith & Wesson Shield Plus just got released. Bunker Depot has got one coming in the next couple days or something. Apparently, it's a double stack. It's going to hold 13 rounds, and it's going to retail for about the $500 price point. So Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. I think that's a much cooler gun because Smith & Wesson is such a high-quality company, and they already have such an amazing reputation compared to Ruger, which I think is just a little bit lower end, in my opinion. Okay, Drew says, I think the main change is a lot of new pistols are coming out with the optics ready. Yeah, somebody was asking me about putting optics on guns. It really is becoming very quickly like the standard, where if you are going to have a gun, I think soon within the next 10 years, all concealed carry handguns, people are going to be rocking. It'll be just as common to have an optic on your gun as it is to have night sights. Like everybody buys a gun and puts night sights on it right away. Soon having an optic will be just like that because it really does make it a lot simpler to make precision shots at a greater distance than using iron sights, and the speed of finding that red dot and then cranking that shot off. So I'm excited about this Shield Plus. I think it's going to be a pretty cool gun. So Bunker Depot gave me a Canic Elite compact. So I'm going to do a review about that next week when we go home. But so I'm excited to shoot that gun. Michael says, what are your thoughts on the Kel-Tec CP 33 and 22? Yeah, Mike, I think it's okay. I have not shot it. The one thing that's weird about Kel-Tec products is typically they're extremely finicky on ammunition. And I'm kind of talking about the PMR 30. I bought the PMR 30 when it first came out. And it actually came with a list of what ammo you could shoot and what you couldn't. And I ended up selling it right away because I just couldn't handle it. I think my big concern with the Kel-Tec 22 is how finicky is that gun on ammunition. If it cycled most ammunition without an issue, then I would say it would be okay to own. But if it's going to be anything like Kel-Tec's history of ammo, then I wouldn't want to own it. Kel-Tec kind of bothers me a little bit too with the cheapness of their guns. Their guns are very kind of weird, plasticky kind of feeling, and that kind of bothers me. Yeah, Jay says he's got his P3, P32. He's got 100% for years. Awesome. I think that's great. But again, when we look at the P32 or the P3AT, it's like wouldn't you agree, Jay? Super cheap feeling plastic, and it feels like the gun is just not finished well. Like if you look at the Ruger LCP, it has a high degree of finish, but the P3AT just seems like they stamped it in some freaking machine and then sold it to somebody real quick. It doesn't have that quality control in my opinion. So Wilson says, got my Glock 19 night sight at Bunker. Awesome. Yeah, they've been getting a lot of stuff in. A lot of cool guns. They had an FN. They had a bunch of those AREX pistols in. And they're getting in a lot of like the Glock, people that want to build a Glock pistol. They're getting into that market a lot. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for that, which I think is awesome. Kevin says CZ. Yeah, I don't know why I don't own any CZ pistols yet. But I do, apparently the CZ75 is one of the most popular handguns in the world. There's definitely got to be a reason, right? I think very low bore access, very low recoil because of the weight. So I probably need to buy one. But I got a lot of other stuff on my list right now before Sleepy Joe starts going too crazy and taking all this stuff away. Tell everybody, put in here, everybody that's on right now, there's 30 people, put in here, what is your favorite gun? All time, if you could only have one gun, they passed some crazy law, you could only own one gun in America, what would that one gun be? For me, if I could only own one gun, it would be a Glock 19, because I think that would be the best all-around, concealed carry, home defense, going to the gun range kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I would pick. Drew says he shot the CZ75. It's nice. Awesome. Jay Chambers says the guns that you regret selling. Yeah, it's always hard to sell guns, but, it's nice to know that if you need some money quickly, you can always sell your gun very fast and pay a bill or something. Placid Saint says the FNX 45 Tactical. Man, that is a sexy gun. Flat Dark Earth, man. It makes my nipples hard just thinking about it. Randall says 43X, cool. Desert Eagle 50. That is one of the funnest guns I've ever shot was a Desert Eagle 50. Placid Saint says he'll never get rid of it. Jason, Glock 19, yeah. What is it? Adley says Glock, same as Glock. Yeah, you really can't beat Glocks, man. They're freaking amazing. But the the 50 Desert Eagle, man, when I shot that gun for the first time, I was so nervous. You guys have all seen videos of people like smashing themselves in the face with that gun. So when I went to the range, I was like, man, this is when we owned the gun store. So I was like, I can't get my face smashed in with this gun. Like, people know who I am. My reputation would be horrible if I got smashed in the face. So I freaking leaned into that thing, man, more aggressive than I ever had before. Shot it. And it was perfect. It was easy. I think all those people that smash themselves in the face, they just don't know how to shoot, frankly. But it wasn't really that big of a deal. Jason wants the 50 AE Desert Eagle. Yeah, when I buy the 50 AE, that's a gun that like has to be obnoxious. It's already such an obnoxious gun. I think I'm gonna buy like the gold-plated one or the faux gold or whatever, the Tiger one maybe. Because it would have to just be an obnoxious looking gun. Aries says, got a Steyr M2. What do you think? I think I've never shot one, so my opinion doesn't really mean much. And I am not even sure if I've handled one. But from what I do know is they're very inexpensive in price, which is usually not a very good indicator of quality. Steyr 9mm pistol. I think they sell for like $299. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've just heard a lot from other YouTubers and stuff. I've heard a lot of weird stuff about it just being a very cheap kind of firearm. So I would just say use a lot of judgment with that. This website or the internet here is slow. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. So Steyer's website says that it's $685. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I need to just get my hands on one. I need to play with it, shoot it, and kind of see what I think. But I think, yeah, I'm willing to try it. Bicolor Browning High Power. Browning High Powers are sexy, man. That steel kind of frame. They're just super smooth. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, guys. I think we are going to wrap this up. I appreciate everybody for joining me on the live stream. I've got a video that posted on the Tampa Carry YouTube channel about a buddy of mine, Jesse Madsen, who was the Tampa police officer that was killed last Tuesday, who was a true freaking sheepdog. So go over, watch that video, and yeah, I don't know. I was going to say pay your respects. He's already dead. But just understand what a true sheepdog is. You know, I haven't watched a funeral yet, but Tiffany watched a funeral. And Jesse's partner got on there and said, hey, what's up, RV dog? Jesse's partner got on and said, you know, 3 years ago, we were talking about what would we do if we were driving and there was an oncoming car coming. And Jesse said, without even hesitating, I would plow into that driver to save the other people. And I just think it's crazy. And it's very easy for anybody to say that they would lay down their life to protect innocent people. But Jesse freaking did it, man. It's just absolutely crazy. So check that video out. Okay, Jason says he has one. It's great. It's heavy. Awesome. Ryan, have you ever shot a CZ75 Rammy in 9? I don't think so. I don't think I've shot one. I've handled the CZ75, but I have not shot one, I don't think. Jess says, been looking for a 1911. Just in about 2 hours off looking. I feel like most of them are obnoxious, at least as far as the prices go. Yeah, Jess, if you are looking for an amazing 1911, like super, super high quality, but don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money, because 1911s can get really pricey, $5-6 grand. The best one to get is the Springfield Mil Spec 1911. We used to sell them for $700 at the gun store. And then I would take those guns after a customer bought it, and I would upgrade it and put a bigger safety. I would put an extended slide catch, put a nicer hammer on, a nicer beaver tail. And we basically do some other work, and we could, for just a couple $100, turn a $700 gun into the exact equivalent of one of the $5,000 guns. Okay, so now that President Biden is in, if you agree with it or not, what actual realistic gun control laws do you think he will try or actually happen? I think that it's not about Biden trying anything, because frankly, I don't think he's smart enough to do much. I think it's about the fact that the anti-gunners they control the Congress and the Senate. Nancy Pelosi and these lunatic gun grabbers, they are going to pass a lot of radical bills in the House. It will get passed through the Senate, and then Biden will sign it because he does whatever he is being told to do. So that's my fear. I think we're going to see a lot. What are you looking for, buddy? No, nobody's in here. So they're playing hide and seek in the house right now. So I think that my fear is we're going to see a lot of really crazy gun bills come down the pipe in the next 2 years. And I'm very nervous about it. I'm also nervous because anything that they pass, it's going to be very hard or impossible for us to repeal it later on. It's going to be very hard. And you know, Jay, one of my biggest concerns with this gun registration bill that just passed is one of the things that Biden and the gun control community say they want to do is reduce the stockpiling of weapons. So people that own, 50 or 100 guns or whatever, you're going to go out and register your stuff now. I think a lot of those people will go out and register it. And then if they come down the pipe and say, hey, listen, Jess, you're not allowed to have 50 guns. You're allowed to have 10. So you got to sell 40 of them. I think it's going to really suck. A lot of people are going to register their stuff, and then when something like that comes down the pipe, you're pretty much screwed because the government already knows exactly what you have. So it's going to be hard to play dumb and not give over whatever the hell they want to take. So Jess says, I'll look for that one. I like Springfield a lot. Caught my eye of a Nighthawk Custom 4500, way out of my price range. Yeah, and Nighthawks, the things that make Nighthawk, Browning, and some of those, and Wilson Combat 1911s really amazing, it actually doesn't take a lot of money to replicate that. So here's what we're doing right now. We are creating a membership side of Carry University. So I don't know what we're going to charge yet, but all the different courses and stuff that I already have, you guys, if you become a member, you'll have access to all those for free. And some of the courses that I've been working on is going to be a 1911 gunsmithing course. So I'll basically take that Springfield Mil Spec 1911. I'll show you guys exactly which upgraded components you want to buy and then how to actually fit them. Because the weird thing with 1911s is you can't just buy a part and then stick it in and have it work. You have to actually take a little file and file it and fit it in to get it to work properly. So I'll show you how to do that. And then I'm going to show you exactly how Nighthawk is able to get their guns to feel and function the way that they do. So I'm going to show all of that inside of this membership kind of area, and it's going to be dope. I don't know if you ever heard this story before, Jess, but I used to make a lot of these custom 1911s for people. And yeah, the 1911 you no longer have because you hate guns, right, Jay? So I was making these 1911s for people, and a guy came into our gun store and he sold me a Wilson Combat custom 1911 that he paid $5,500 for. And listen, it was a beautiful gun. It was really nice, but I had a customer that was like, what's the difference between the two? And I said, you want to know the difference? Here's the difference. Close your eyes. I want you to feel, I gave him one of the guns. Let's say the Wilson Combat, $5,000. I gave it to him. I said, I want you to feel it, feel the action. I want you to press the trigger and all that stuff. And I want you to tell me whether you think this is the super expensive gun or whether you think this is the $700 gun. So he did it, and he's like, I don't know. I think this is the expensive one. And I said, okay. So then I gave him the Springfield 1911 that I had been working on, and I said, feel it, feel the action, feel the trigger, all that stuff. Do you think this is the $5,000 gun, or do you think this is a $700 gun? And he goes, oh, actually, I think this might be the $5,000 one. Point of the story, this guy could not tell the difference. So we're going to teach you guys how to do that. It'll save you a ton of money if you actually know how to do these minor little gunsmithing things yourself. And it's not something you have to have any skill. It's pretty simple once you learn it. But the reason you don't see YouTube videos and stuff about this is because gunsmiths want to be able to charge a ridiculous amount of money to be able to do this service for you. I'm just going to teach it for you guys. Okay, fun question here. What's your favorite horror movie? I am a zombie person, man. I freaking love zombie movies. Night of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, like any of those series, I absolutely freaking love it. And I always, this is probably why I'm such a gun person, right? I then like sit there and figure out how would we do it? How would we survive? What guns do I need? How are we going to make ammunition? So anyway, yeah, love it, man. And it's kind of interesting, but if you remember, what was it? I Am Legend. Somebody posted this the other day and I thought, this is crazy. I Am Legend, that's where the world turned into zombies because the world took this vaccine. Now, this in the movie, it was a vaccine to cure cancer, but that vaccine went bad, caused everybody to turn into zombies in the year 2021. So when they posted that, I thought, that's pretty interesting. It's 2021. People are taking an untested, unproven vaccine that's killing people right now. Whatever. I don't think those zombies are going to come, but if they do, I'm going to be freaking ready. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Have a great night and stay safe.